Picture Maya, the person responsible for email at a mid-size research organization. One employee previews a strange message, sees no link worth clicking, and deletes it. The employee did exactly what years of phishing training taught them to do. But the dangerous moment may already have passed. On July 23rd, the NSA and partners described a campaign against vulnerable Zimbra collaboration suite servers. Their warning says a malicious email could trigger automatically when viewed in the classic webmail client. No attachment had to open. No link had to be clicked. This is not a warning about every inbox. The advisory concerns organizations running vulnerable versions of Zimbra collaboration suite, including government, defense, education, energy, law enforcement, media, nonprofit, and technology networks. A Gmail or Outlook user should not hear this as a claim about all email. To understand how the campaign reached Maya's inbox, go back to its earlier playbook. The partner agencies say this same group used stolen credentials, password spraying, fake sign-in pages, and stolen session tokens. Every route depended on a person or a weak credential somewhere in the chain. Around July 2025, the campaign changed. The advisory says the group began using a custom capability against Zimbra. At the time, the underlying flaw, CVE 2025-66376, was a zero-day. Defenders did not yet have a public patch. Here is the high-level mechanism without operational exploit detail. A crafted email reached a vulnerable classic webmail interface. When the message rendered, hidden code ran in the signed-in session. That session already had permission to ask the server for mailbox and account data. According to the advisory, the capability attempted to collect the last 90 days of email, the organization directory, account details, two-factor tokens, saved credentials, and a newly created application passcode. It also tried to preserve access after the first view. 90 days can be more revealing than it sounds. A recent mailbox may contain contract discussions, travel plans, meeting links, password resets, internal names, or the history needed to impersonate a trusted colleague. The warning describes espionage, not a documented mass ransomware or consumer fraud campaign. Zimbra released fixes in versions 10.1.13 and 10.0.18 on November 6, 2025. The vendor security page now lists newer releases as well. The useful instruction is to run a current supported, non-vulnerable version, not to stop at an old minimum patch number. Why issue a multinational warning 8 months after the patch? Because the agencies say the exploit is still succeeding against unpatched systems. The new event is not discovery of a brand new zero-day. It is the disclosure of an ongoing campaign and a detailed playbook for finding past compromise. The partner governments trace the activity to a Russian state-supported group often called Laundry Bear or Void Blizzard. Different security teams use different names, but they describe the same broader shift. A group once known for simpler account theft had learned to turn an unread patch notice into an open door. That turns the usual phishing lesson upside down. If viewing a message is enough, workers cannot become perfect human spam filters. Training still matters, but the decisive defenses now sit behind the inbox: secure infrastructure, fast patching, useful logs, and an incident team ready to follow the evidence. For an employee, the practical move is simple. If your organization tells you it uses affected Zimbra webmail, follow its incident instructions and do not improvise from random online indicators. If you receive a suspicious message, report it through the organization's known security channel and avoid forwarding it. For administrators, step 1 is inventory. Identify internet-connected Zimbra systems, confirm the exact running version, and move to a current supported release that fixes CVE 20.25.66376. A patch prevents this route from working again. It does not prove nobody used it yesterday. If immediate patching is impossible, the advisory recommends moving users to alternative mail clients and avoiding the classic Zimbra webmail client until the service is updated. That is a temporary isolation step, not a substitute for patching or a reason to leave a vulnerable server exposed. Next comes the hunt. The agencies describe unusual bursts of mailbox requests, suspicious application passcodes, local browser artifacts, and network patterns defenders can check. They also warn that many listed domains and addresses may be historical, so a single old indicator is not proof of a live intruder. If evidence of this campaign appears, the response grows. Quarantine similar messages, determine affected accounts and dates, revoke application passcodes and two-factor scratch keys, and require new unique passwords. The advisory notes that credentials saved in a password manager may also have been exposed. That is why Maya should not close the ticket it patched. She needs a documented decision about logs, affected accounts, credential resets, notification duties, and what email may have left the organization. Those steps should follow the full advisory and the organization's incident response and legal processes. The advisory leaves some important blanks. It names no victims, gives no victim count, and never says every vulnerable server was breached. Some clues in the report were already historical when it was published, so Maya still has to judge her own logs and check the vendor's latest supported release. The story ends with a better question. Not, did the employee click? Not even, did we install the patch? Ask whether the organization can show what happened before the patch, contain what remains, and protect the people whose recent correspondence may now be part of someone else's intelligence picture.